Well, have you ever wondered what would happen if Tanjiro was reborn with his old memories? Would he defeat Muzan and the other Upper Moon demons faster this time? And most importantly, would he save the friends he had lost before? Well, as soon as Tanjiro opens his eyes again, he sees that his entire family, including his father, is still alive. Well, Tanjiro is extremely confused here, and he cannot understand what is happening to him. At first, he thinks this must be someone's trick, or perhaps a demon's blood demon art. But as time passes, Tanjiro realizes that everything is real. And the moment he understands this reality, he begins to cry tears of joy that he will once again be able to spend time with his family. Well, this time, Tanjiro swears that the terrible events that happened to him in the previous timeline will not happen again, and he will make everyone's life happy. But unfortunately, Tanjiro realizes that some things cannot be changed. For example, his father had an illness that wouldn't allow him to live for long, and Tanjiro cannot alter that here. Understanding this, Tanjiro begins to spend as much time as possible with his father and learns about the Hinokami Kagura so that as he grows, he can make his sun breathing even more powerful. Well, here's an important point you all should know. We know that Tanjiro has been reborn with his old memories. However, powers like sun breathing and total concentration will still need to be learned over time. That's why Tanjiro starts training from childhood, making the most of every moment. By the age of 10, he has already achieved many abilities, becoming exceptionally skilled at a very young age. Knowing exactly when his father's death will occur, Tanjiro prepares himself so that he can properly say goodbye to his father. Well, now Tanjiro's life seems to return to normal, but only until the day when everything in his life changed. Well, Tanjiro knows exactly which day Muzan will attack his home, so he prepares a plan in advance. Instead of leaving his family alone at home to sell charcoal, Tanjiro will create some excuse to take his entire family to the city. He also thinks that at that moment, he will defeat Muzan, but here, Tanjiro realizes that he is still not powerful enough to beat Muzan. So, will everything be okay? Will Tanjiro be able to save his entire family from Muzan? Well, no. At first, Tanjiro's plan works, but Muzan is not someone who gives up so easily. Following their trail, he quickly finds them and attacks the village that night, killing even more people than before. Well, Tanjiro tries to stop him, but Muzan quickly overpowers him, and thinking Tanjiro is already dead, throws him aside. Well guys, before moving further in the story, I want you to give as many high points as possible to this video so it reaches more people. Watch the rest of the video and comment on how you liked it. Meanwhile, Muzan injects his blood into the other family members and leaves. When Tanjiro regains consciousness, he sees that Nezuko is still alive. Here, Tanjiro worries that Nezuko might accidentally harm the villagers, so he immediately takes her to Urokodaki. On the way, Tanjiro blames himself, saying that even though he knew all these events might happen, he still couldn't protect his family. Soon, Tanjiro meets Gyu, just like in the original story. Gyu tries to kill Nezuko, but this time Tanjiro easily stops him. Tanjiro tells Gyu that he will take full responsibility for Nezuko and ensure she never harms any human. Well, Gyu initially doubts Tanjiro, but ultimately he trusts him and lets them go. They soon reach Urokodaki's house, and Tanjiro pleads for Urokodaki's help in training Nezuko. After his earnest request, Urokodaki agrees. Even though Tanjiro doesn't actually need to learn water breathing this time, he still trains under Urokodaki while keeping his true powers hidden, so that later he can reunite with Sabito and Makomo. Well, to become an official demon slayer, Tanjiro had to pass the final selection. This time, he joins the final selection much faster because he doesn't need years of training with Urokodaki. As soon as the final selection exams begin, Tanjiro immediately finds the hand demon and defeats it with ease, saving the lives of many others. After successfully completing the final selection, Tanjiro officially becomes a part of the Demon Slayer Corps. He also ensures that the souls of Sabito, Makomo, and others can finally rest peacefully, as the hand demon has been defeated. Even though Tanjiro joined the Demon Slayer Corps quickly, he still has to wait a full 2 years because Nezuko has not yet awakened from her coma. During these 2 years, Tanjiro goes on numerous missions and saves many lives. By now, even the Hashira have started to take notice of him. Tanjiro independently tracks down and defeats demons, rescuing many village girls along the way. Finally, Nezuko awakens, and Tanjiro continues his journey, confident this time because he already knows what is going to happen in the future. So he makes sure to arrive at the right location at the right time. This time, Tanjiro first goes to Asakusa. There he approaches Muzan's area and finds Lady Tamayo, instructing her to start preparing medicine to defeat Muzan. At that moment, 2 lower-ranked demons attack them, but this time, Tanjiro is so strong that he defeats the demons without taking any damage. After handling the situation, Tanjiro goes straight to the drum house. There, he first meets Inosuke and Zenitsu and ensures that their friendship remains intact this time. Together, the 3 of them defeat the drum demon and save the children as well. Later, the 3 of them receive a mission that takes them to the mountain range. There, Tanjiro primarily uses water breathing, so that when he gets into trouble, Nezuko can evolve her blood demon art. As soon as Nezuko uses her blood demon art, Tanjiro also unleashes his true power, using using sun breathing to defeat Rui. This time, Zenitsu and Inosuke sustain far fewer injuries, and the Hashira don't have to exert as much effort. Many lower-level demon slayers also survive, who will be crucial in the upcoming battles. After this, Tanjiro meets the remaining Hashira at the Butterfly Mansion. This time, even the Hashira respect Tanjiro's power and consider him on their level. However, they still remain cautious about Nezuko. In fact, Sanemi even attacks Nezuko. But this time, Tanjiro is so powerful that he can handle Sanemi, and their battle escalates further. Just then, Kagaya Ubuyashiki arrives and stops them. Seeing Tanjiro and Nezuko, Kagaya realizes that they have come to help the Demon Slayer Corps. He then explains to the other Hashira that they can trust Tanjiro and Nezuko. Next, they receive the mission for the Mugen Train. This time, two extremely powerful Demon Slayers face Akaza. Tanjiro vows that he will not let Rengoku die this time. Using his smell powers, Tanjiro quickly locates Enmu and performs the Hinokami Kagura to decapitate him. However, Enmu does not give up easily, and in his final move, flips the entire train. Tanjiro immediately commands everyone to save the passengers, and they manage to protect all the lives on the train. Suddenly, Akaza jumps out of the forest and attacks Tanjiro directly, but Rengoku intervenes and saves him. This time, Tanjiro, Rengoku, Inosuke, Zenitsu, and Nezuko all fight against Akaza. While Akaza quickly defeats Zenitsu and Inosuke, Tanjiro and Rengoku put everything on the line to take him down. This time, history will not repeat itself. During the battle, Tanjiro unlocks his Demon Slayer mark, and together he and Rengoku nearly defeat Akaza. But then, Akaza tries to escape. This time, Tanjiro, fully focused, aims his sword at Akaza's head, decapitating him. Akaza attempts to reattach his head, but Tanjiro does not allow it, and Akaza is finally killed. As a result, Rengoku survives, allowing him to participate in the upcoming battles. After defeating Akaza on the Mugen Train, Tanjiro becomes extremely famous within the Demon Slayer Corps and is considered to be on the level of a Hashira. In other words, Tanjiro is now recognized as the Sun Hashira. After this, the story continues directly with the Entertainment District arc, where a very dangerous demon is waiting for Tanjiro. But before that, Tanjiro meets the Sound Hashira, Tengen Uzui. From here, the story enters epic mode. Tanjiro senses the presence of two demons, who are Daki and Gyutaro. Once they locate the demons, initially Tengen, Tanjiro, and Nezuko team up to fight Gyutaro. Since Tanjiro alone is struggling against Gyutaro, Tengen steps in to assist Zenitsu and Inosuke. Together, the three of them fight against the siblings. Honestly, they easily defeat both of these demons, and by sunrise, all of them are safe and unharmed. Since Tengen also doesn't sustain serious injuries this time, he will be able to participate in the upcoming fights inside the Infinity Castle. Since Upper Moon 6 and Upper Moon 3 have now been killed without any sacrifice from the Hashira, this becomes a huge advantage for the Demon Slayer Corps. Once this information reaches Kagaya Ubuyashiki, he awards Tanjiro the title of Sun Hashira. Even after receiving the title, Tanjiro continues to improve his powers, fully aware of who he will face in the upcoming battles. Now, Tanjiro talks to Kagaya Ubuyashiki about Lady Tamayo, explaining her plan. From here, the SW village story continues exactly as before. Tanjiro first meets Muichiro and becomes friends with him. Tanjiro receives a sword from Yorch's doll, and since he already knows everything about the Demon Slayer mark, he explains to Muichiro how he can unlock his own Demon Slayer mark. As night falls, the battles begin. Muichiro fights Gyoko while Tanjiro, Genya, and Nezuko take on Gyoko's clones. This time, the fight progresses much faster because Tanjiro already knows how to handle the clones. He defeats Gyoko's clones and uses his smell power to locate Gyoko's real body. Before Gyoko can appear fully, Tanjiro decapitates him, ending the fight even before sunrise. As the sun rises, Nezuko hides, but Tanjiro confidently tells her, "Nezuko, you can come out. Nothing will happen to you." When sunlight reaches her, she absorbs it, and in this timeline, everything is going perfectly for Tanjiro. Tanjiro still knows that the most important battle in the Infinity Castle is yet to come, but first, the Hashira begin their training. This time, Rengoku and Tengen train to activate their Demon Slayer marks. Rengoku's mark appears on his arm as a fire symbol, covering his entire arm, while Tengen's mark activates on his face, representing his mastery of sound breathing. Apart from that, the rest of the story unfolds in the same way. Finally, the night arrives when the Infinity War is set to begin. Just like before, Muzan blasts the Ubuyashiki mansion and falls into the trap set there. However, Muzan is fully prepared for this war and systematically drops all the Hashira and Demon Slayers into the Infinity Castle. This time, Tanjiro knows that some things will change, as they have already defeated Akaza. This means they can also support the other Hashira. Rengoku and Tengen are with them this time, but it still won't be a full advantage. Unfortunately, Shinobu must fight Doma alone again, just like in the original story, which results in her life being lost during the battle. However, Shinobu had poisoned Doma, which allows Tanjiro and the others to defeat him together. They don't have to put in much effort, and they win this fight with minimal damage. Meanwhile, the other characters are busy with their own battles. For example, Zenitsu tries to take revenge on Kaigaku, who reveals that he has mastered thunder breathing to finish the battle efficiently. Just like in the original story, Zenitsu creates the 7th form of thunder breathing and defeats Kaigaku. Meanwhile, Tanjiro runs through the Infinity Castle to assist other demon slayers. Finally, he confronts Upper Moon 1, Kokushibo. However, Tanjiro is not alone. He is accompanied by 6 Hashira and 3 demon slayers. All of them fight Kokushibo together, and it's unlikely that Kokushibo has any chance of winning this battle. Yes, in simple terms, all of them together defeat Kokushibo. At this point, Tanjiro prepares to decapitate Kokushibo again, knowing that he would otherwise regenerate his head. But then, Kokushibo recalls Yoriichi and realizes in his mind that he had been wrong from the beginning. Because of this, Kokushibo accepts his defeat, and finally his body is destroyed. Tanjiro pauses for a moment to pray for Kokushibo, and finally, the moment arrives when Muzan fully recovers. However, Tanjiro has made a significant mistake. By teaming up with the other demon slayers, they defeated all the demons in the Infinity Castle very quickly. Because of this, they will have to fight Muzan for a much longer period than expected. This time, it's possible that even the demon slayers and Hashira who were supposed to survive might be killed, because there's still a lot of time before sunrise. Muzan will have ample time to fight them. But here, Rengoku reassures Tanjiro that everything will be fine. Saying just that, they all charge at Muzan together. First, Obanai and Sanemi attack Muzan. As they begin to tire, the other Hashira join in to strike Muzan. In this way, they coordinate their attacks, supporting each other against him. At one point, all the demon slayers unlock their demon slayer marks and launch a rapid, powerful assault on Muzan. Tanjiro declares, "This time, I won't let anyone die." Saying this, he uses his sun breathing on Muzan in an extremely deadly manner. This causes Muzan to recall Yoriichi, feeling the fear he experienced against him. Despite the presence of so many powerful Hashira, many demon slayers and Hashira are severely injured. For example, Sanemi is bleeding heavily, Obanai has lost both of his eyes, Rengoku loses one hand, and Dengen has one ear cut. Yet, no one dies because everyone is defending each other, and they continue fighting Muzan for hours. As sunrise arrives, Tanjiro leaps forward to deliver his final attack on Muzan. At that moment, the Hashira clear the path for him, giving Tanjiro a perfect position to strike. Then we see Tanjiro's sword transform into the red nature blade. With this, Tanjiro strikes directly at Muzan's neck. However, Muzan does not die immediately. He attempts to regenerate himself, but before he can, sunrise occurs, causing his body to begin disintegrating. This time, Muzan is unable to turn Tanjiro into a demon, and ultimately, Muzan is finally killed.